Two hungry boys walked into a millionaire's office. What happened next shocked him. The rain poured like grief from the sky that morning in downtown Chicago. In a city of towering buildings and flashing wealth, two boys, soaked, shivering, and barefoot, stood outside the revolving glass doors of a grand skyscraper. Their faces were thin, their eyes wide not with fear, but with a strange kind of hope. 13-year-old Marcus held tightly to the hand of his younger brother, Tyler, who was only 7. They hadn't eaten in 2 days. Their mother had passed away the year before, and their father, struggling with grief and addiction, had vanished weeks ago. They had slept in shelters, alleyways, and once even under a bridge. But today, they did something bold. They walked straight into the office of one of the richest men in the city. Inside, the building pulsed with wealth. Polished marble floors, glass elevators, and people in designer suits who barely looked up as the two drenched boys entered. Marcus had seen this place once on a local news segment. It belonged to Howard Lansing, a tech millionaire known more for his cold efficiency than compassion. People say he's heartless, Marcus whispered to Tyler, but maybe, just maybe, he'll help. At the 30th floor, they walked up to the front desk. The receptionist's jaw dropped. "Do you boys have an appointment?" she asked, clearly flustered. Marcus straightened his back. "No, ma'am. But we need to talk to Mr. Lansing. It's important." She hesitated. "He doesn't take walk-ins, especially not." "Please," Marcus interrupted. "It's not about money. We just need a chance." Whether it was the sincerity in his voice or the desperation in his eyes, something made her pause. Against her better judgment, she picked up the phone and called Lansing's assistant. Moments later, the boys were ushered into a massive office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Behind a sleek desk sat Howard Lansing, salt and pepper hair, crisp suit, and the expression of a man who'd rather be anywhere else. He didn't stand. "This better be quick," he said, eyeing their ragged clothes. "I have investors waiting." Marcus cleared his throat. "We're not here to beg, sir. We just want to ask for a job. Anything. I can sweep, clean, carry boxes, just enough to get my brother and me a warm meal and a safe place to sleep." Lansing blinked. "How old are you?" 13. Tyler's 7. "And where are your parents?" Marcus hesitated. "Gone." The room was silent for a long moment. Lansing leaned back, his fingers steepled. He'd made his fortune in artificial intelligence and robotics, not charity. He believed in algorithms, not emotions. But as he looked at the older boy's trembling hands and the younger one's tear-streaked face, something flickered in his chest. A memory, long buried, of being a boy himself, hungry, invisible, abandoned in a world too busy to care. Still, his voice was sharp. "You think this is how the world works? You walk into an office and expect someone to save you?" "No, sir," Marcus replied. "We don't expect anyone to save us. We just hoped someone might see us." That hit different. Lansing stood. "Come with me." He led them to the building's cafeteria and bought them lunch, real food, not scraps. The boys devoured the sandwiches like they were sacred. Employees stared, puzzled by the sight of their icy CEO sitting with two homeless kids, watching them eat. But Lansing didn't care. Afterward, he called his assistant. "Get me social services, and call Dr. Martinez at the youth shelter." Then he turned to the boys. "You can stay in a warm place tonight. I'll make sure of it. But after that, the system will have to step in." Marcus nodded. "Thank you, sir. That's more than anyone else has done." As they were leaving, Tyler tugged on Lansing's sleeve. "You were nice. Are you a good guy?" Lansing froze. No one had ever asked him that, not in years. I don't know, kid," he said quietly. That night, something kept Lansing awake. Not spreadsheets. Not stocks. But those boys, their dignity, their courage. He thought about the mother who must have once held them, the home they'd lost, and the millions he'd made building machines to replace people. What good was success if he couldn't use it to do something human? The next morning, he called the shelter. The boys were safe, and Marcus had asked again if he could work. He won't stop, the shelter director chuckled. He's got the heart of a fighter. Over the next weeks, Lansing visited them often. He brought them clothes, books, even a soccer ball. But more than that, he brought consistency. Something the boys hadn't known in years. One afternoon, as he watched them play, something in him broke open. Maybe it was the laughter. Maybe it was the memory of his own broken childhood. But he realized something, the boys weren't a burden. They were a mirror, reflecting a version of himself he'd almost forgotten. Lansing made calls. He didn't just donate money, he got involved. He set up a program within his company to hire and train homeless teens. He funded mentorships, scholarships, even therapy. And when the time came, he petitioned for custody of Marcus and Tyler. It wasn't easy. But 6 months later, a judge approved. Lansing wasn't just a millionaire anymore. He was a father. At the adoption ceremony, Marcus whispered, "Why us?" Lansing knelt beside him. "Because I used to be you. And no one should have to go through this world unseen." The courtroom clapped. Tyler beamed. And somewhere in the corner, a social worker wiped away tears. Years later, when Marcus graduated from college with honors and gave the valedictorian speech, he said, "We walked into that office hungry for food. But what we got was someone who believed in us. And that belief changed everything." In a world that often moves too fast to notice the broken, never underestimate the power of stopping, seeing, and choosing kindness. Sometimes, the smallest act of humanity can rewrite the story of a life.